Pinnock! It's the wonderful Amy Pinnock!
Good evening, everyone. Those seats are really high for short people. How's everyone doing? All right? Yeah. So I'm turning 41 in May. I know. And turning 40 was brilliant because there's parties and everything, you know. So for my 41st year, I decided to try pole dancing as a hobby. Right? Because in my toxic brain, I thought I was going to look really sexy. When in fact, has anyone ever seen a cat caught on a curtain rail? That's what I look like. Because turning 40 was great. I had a party, presents. Turning 41 is less great. All I seem to get is text messages from NHS inviting me for my health check, telling me I'm at risk of cardiovascular disease. So all I have to look forward to in my 41st year is a heart attack or a stroke. So, you know, that's something to look forward to. Because it is really different, right? When you're 20 and you go to the doctor and you've got stomachache, they tell you you've got constipation, right? When you're 40 and you go to the doctor, the next thing you know, you've got a finger shoved up your asshole and a 2-week wait for a colonoscopy. So, it's fun times. Anyone single here? I'm single. Single? Yeah. I'm single. Yeah, going into my 41st year single, lesbian. Anyone on the dating apps? Anyone here on dating apps? Because they are soul destroying, those dating apps. I mean, I don't know what it's like on straight dating apps, but the lesbian ones. I mean, what happened to like meeting someone and just, you know, falling in love after an hour's day, getting 7 cats together and moving in, right? That doesn't seem to happen anymore. You know, you go on these dating apps and you've got the whole blurb bit and it says, you know, my name is Jupiter and I'm currently with my polyamorous monosyllabic girlfriend with 17 cats. I only ever shave on a full moon. I'm a top, I'm a bottom, I'm a switch. I prefer to make love with the power of my mind. If you're a Tory or eat any other meat products, please don't discuss life with me. I mean, I just want to meet these people for a coffee, right? Well, when did it become so complicated? So I decided to treat myself to a sex toy, right? Because, you know, you've got to get some action somewhere. And the battery-operated ones just kept running out. And who invents these things? And why do they think that my vagina is the length and width of the Dartford Tunnel? They're so fucking big. They're terrifying, right? So I finally found one that I thought would be appropriate, and I kind of put it in my bedside drawer, and I thought that it would be away from the watchful eyes of the fuckers that I live with, aka my children, right? I was mistaken, okay? Because I was in the bathroom one day, and all of a sudden I heard, what the fuck is that? And I kind of go into my bedroom and I see my children cradling my vibrator, my vibrating vibrator. And it was like a scene from Private Ryan, because I kind of ran from the side of the bedroom. My kids got such a fright that this thing flew up in the air, this pulsating dildo, and kind of fell onto the floor. Mummy, what is it? None of your fucking business! Get out of my room! And they fled, and I'm actually going to be handing around a hat for their therapy, because in future years there definitely will be a muscle memory of this event where they suddenly remember that they were cradling their mother's sex toy. So that was a fun Sunday. And actually we have rabbits at home, so when my children Googled rabbits, there were many questions. So yeah, did everyone have a good bank holiday, Easter weekend? Yeah, my guinea pig died on bank holiday Monday. And it was one of those scenarios where you just kind of think, you know, I mean, I buy food for the animal, but I have no real emotional connection to this guinea pig who happens to share my living space. And I was upstairs and I suddenly hear, Mummy, come down, there's something wrong with Stanley. Stanley's classic name for a guinea pig. And I come downstairs and I see Stanley lying on his side, kind of pulsating a little bit like the vibrator that was dying. And she's like, Mummy, what's wrong with Stanley? You're a nurse. Tell me what's wrong with Stanley. I'm like, yes, I'm a nurse. I have no idea what's wrong with this guinea pig. So I said to her, well, should we call the vet, darling? And she's picked up this animal who's all floppy and kind of eyes glazing. So I phoned up the vet, and the vet said, hello, this is Holly House Vet. How can I help you? And I said, well, I think my guinea pig is actually quite poorly. Oh, let me just have a look if we have any availability. Yes, you can actually bring him in the next 20 minutes. Oh, that would be great. Could you just tell me how much it would be? Well, we have a special rate because it's bank holiday. That would be £170 for a guinea pig that cost me a tenner. So I'm staring at Stanley and I'm kind of, torn between, am I going to be a decent human who essentially saves this anyway dying animal, or am I going to be a cunt who basically says I'll bring him tomorrow? Well, thankfully Stanley did the rightful thing and died before I got off the phone. To which my daughter's, Mummy, what's happened? He's died, darling. And then you're left with this animal that, have you ever tried burying an animal that's bigger than a goldfish? It won't fit down the toilet, right? What do you do? It's like when you're trying to take a piss in public, there's always people. You can't just plonk them anywhere. And I'm thinking, wheelie bin? No, Mummy, you can't. So fucking hell, so we drive into the forest and we find a hole and we have a ceremony, and you realise that your children are really morbid because this animal has been dead for a good 5 hours by this point, because I'm like, where do I take him? And I put him in the carrier and I'm thinking, how am I going to get him out? My daughter's like, I've got him, Mummy. Grabs this guinea pig who's now full rigor mortis and she's holding him. It's like a teddy bear. Therapy, everyone. The hat will be going around later. Anyway, we plonked this thing in the bushes. We had a little ceremony. Mummy, can you film it for me? Sure. So I have the video if anyone's interested. And we filmed this ceremony. And then the questions of, do you think a fox is going to get him? Do you think a dog's going to get him? Do you think a cat's going to get him? No, darling. Of course not. So if anyone sees a guinea pig being flung around Hebden Bridge, it's Stanley. So yeah, that was definitely an experience. Anyway, you guys have been fantastic. I'm Amy Pinnock, and it was all new material, so thank you for supporting.
Amy Pinnock, woo! Excellent, thank you very much. Then we're going to keep that clap going. Don't stop, keep it going, keep it going, keep it going. We're going to welcome to the stage our final act for this half.